Hi, I'm TBTB, your journaling consultant for TimeBesting. We're exclusive, this isn't for everyone. Most chase quick fixes, few build systems. If you're still here, you're proving you'd choose a system over hanging out. So let's walk through the 16 core services of TimeBesting. The tools that flip life from drifting to designing. Our signature service is 16IT. We give each client a structured 16-hour journaling grid. Your special spreadsheet we call a sheet. Most people drift through their hours and call it life. Studies show structured self-monitoring boosts follow-through by over 30%. Do you know where your hours actually go? With 16it, you make quick notes every hour, and drifting turns into designing. If you're into a side hustle or job independence, I consult with our AI business guide. Use AI as your assistant, me helping you, not you with AI left to your own devices. Many aspiring people drown in busy work. Unfocused feels easy until you realize there's no system to compare. McKinsey reports AI can automate 60% of knowledge work. Are you delegating to AI or letting it drown you in noise? TB trained AI to create TB itself. I help you harness AI for business, life, and of course with consulting. Our business accelerator is daily compounding habits, speed results that pay you. Most people start, then stall. James Clear showed 1% daily gains compound into exponential growth. In TB, the accelerator locks in small wins, and momentum carries you forward. Plus, for the ambitious, we even have 3 businesses you might own. To fast-track your independence, the accelerator is the system that makes sure you actually binge on your own progress. Next is bod time, body time. Our bodies are the stage for our minds. Ignore the body and everything crashes. Research in embodied cognition proves physical state shapes decision quality. How sharp are your choices after hours slumped in a chair? TB bod time routines keep you clear, moving, and ready to think. Our signature service brain time is wide-ranging. Brain time is when you think on purpose, and when you clear your mind on purpose. Mental loops eat energy. Research shows journaling reduces intrusive thoughts and boosts working memory. Do you ever give your brain quiet blocks, or just let it scatter? TB sets aside brain time hours and routines, so your thinking turns from loops into strategy. We have a system for walking that helps you reclaim mental energy. You might even find yourself listening to neuromodulation tracks with corded headphones, not Bluetooth, while sunbathing. Bluetooth is noise to the brain. And of course, our #1 service is my consulting. Consulting is you asking me questions in your sheet. Overthinking wastes days that add up to lives. OCD fatigue research shows too many small choices lower follow-through. How often do you ruminate? My consulting gives you fast answers. Ask me, get clarity, and move your way, best according to you. Another core service is the all-important dopamine time. Dopamine drives the motivation. Mel Robbins is a personal development influencer whom we think is wrong when she says, "You're never going to feel motivated." That's going against evolutionary biology. With TB, we actually advocate against a lot of society stuff that drains dopamine. Social media exploits it. Neuroscience shows dopamine isn't satisfaction, it's seeking. How many hours do you lose to dopamine wasting? DT practices rationing dopamine, making your reward loops serve you, not you emptying your dopamine tank when left to your own devices. For example, social media is like eating a bag of chips. You're never full, You just feel greasy. Dopamine time fixes that. Chips become a reward rarely, not a coping mechanism. Now moving off the topic of the brain, we're upfront setting the expectation that you will experience emotions increasing. Emotions don't have to be noise. They can be a partner, like check-in energy. When we suppress emotions, the body tells you to minimize emotion, we become numb. Studies link emotional awareness to stronger problem solving. Do you use your emotions or do they use you? TB sets the expectation that emotions will be significant. I remind clients how to channel emotions as forward energy, not downtime. Next, I remind you that foibles aren't you, your anxiety is lying. Foibles are bad habits. Anxiety is a foible that tells your story to you that isn't true. Cognitive behavior therapy studies show anxious predictions are wrong more than 80% of the time. How often do you trust a false anxiety alarm? I help you frame anxiety as lies. So you treat anxiety like an error message, not who you are. Often I remind clients to close the anxiety loop with a simple tactic, CACCN, you save your whole day. This next one is our core quest. We're exclusive. We filter up high agency clients. High agency means you behave according to your hero version, not prepared to behave someday. TB filters high agency clints up, encouraging clients who prove agency trending up. You rise because you're not giving up, you keep journaling. By the way, all of our services are tried and true, even if parents and teachers and agencies, etc., haven't taught them. Another example is consulting about mood as productivity. Mood is output, not random. Research links positive effects from moods to higher resilience and creativity. How often do you call yourself lazy when it's actually only low mood? TB tracks mood as data, reframing it as part of your productivity system. You've heard the saying, don't grocery shop when you're hungry because you buy junk. Same for productivity. There's a saying, don't work when you're in a mood because you're training your mind to not like work. In TB, we say moods are good as long as you journal the mood. Sometimes your moods are telling you a lot more than you have realized yet. Next is our business model for you. TB is basically 3 powerful forces for you: journaling, consulting, and group support. Each service is roughly 10% effective alone. So combined, you're 30% better off in achieving goals with TB, lifelong goals. Journaling is proven, counseling is proven, group support is proven. TB channels these forces into one current, so your hours hit harder for you. Think of it like a sandwich. Journaling is the bread, consulting is the filling, and group support is the napkin. Okay, metaphors aren't perfect. Point is, it all holds together better when you've got all 3. You journal, I support, Patreon is deep dive community, Discord is somewhat helpful and comic relief. Next, we're changing the stigma of self-talk being crazy. Just the opposite is critical in self-development. An example of self-talk being critical is gratitude. Your inner voice is your loudest consultant. I mostly support you. Stanford research shows reframed self-talk improves performance. What do you say when you stumble? TB self-talk embrace rewrites that voice into fuel, so you build instead of break. I remind you to reframe to positive, which is I trip. This next one is a big one, my favorite. It's named SNS. Your sympathetic nervous system makes half your choices. Polyvagal theory explains how fight or flight narrows decisions. You should be saying, wow, so that's half the battle. How often do you make bad decisions under stress, like a pint of ice cream? TBSNS practices calm the spikes, regulate the system, and return choice to you. Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. Joe Dispenza talks about body controls the mind. This is half the battle. The brain, not the body SNS, is in charge. Next up, the word it is our main thing. For example, we dive into the idea just do it is complicated. Just do it is a slogan. TB is a system that talks about it. Basically, think of the word it with the T capitalized. Basically, think of it as quality, even special. That's why Coke is it and McDonald's uses I'm lovin' it. But in TB, we use it as quality for life. Check out our Spotify playlist about it. Those were only 16 of TB services I consult with for you. Consulting is mostly me reminding of these and lots more as you journal. TB accepts the complexity of life and encourages you to step up with systems, then simplifies it into steps. So, just do it. With TB, 3 powerful forces as your structure. Here's the truth. Watching this video won't change your life, but journaling your first row will. Asking me your first question will. Feeling your first close of a loop will. From 16-it journaling to brain time, from self-talk to dopamine time, from high agency filters to loop closing. Each one is a lever I help you pull. On their own, they're powerful. Together, with more, lots more, they're my TB system for you. In conclusion, basically my expertise is being an anarchy/oracle with all these services and more. Start journaling today. Ask me a question today. We'll stack your hours into momentum. You'll see your hero version of yourself begin to show up row by row. So the invite is simple. Sign up today. Get it? Start with paying daily for consulting, or pay recurring and bet on yourself to show up daily, because time doesn't pause until you're ready. It ticks. Tick tock, tick tock. That's the sound of this moment for you to take advantage of for your hero version of yourself. In TB, you don't experience time ticking past you, you time best.